Divine Spirit and gracious Creator, we're all here to open ourselves up unconditionally to your divine assistance for continued direction. As well as receiving your healing and guidance, we are fully open and ready to receive and notice signs and blessings. We are truly grateful and thank you. Amen. Please settle your minds and focus on your crown chakra. And when you are ready, open it for Spirit to supply you with its source of energy. As it enters your crown chakra, allow it to rebalance all your chakras, starting with the crown chakra, moving on to the brow chakra, down to the throat chakra, then on to the heart chakra, working its way down to the solar plexus chakra and further down to the sacral chakra, and then down to the root chakra. Allow the spirit energy source to visit all your minor chakras to maximize our potential in this circle. Let the energy settle in your body, and when you are ready, move your focus back to your heart chakra and start linking with all other members of this circle unconditionally. Set your intention on the task we agreed, please, to maximize our ability to make the links to spirit that we need to achieve. We have come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. I would like to start by introducing members of our circle here tonight. My name is Neil, and with me today is Ashley, Pam, Adrian, Claire, and Chris. I would like to welcome every member of the Spirit Circle once again, and thank you for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy level sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focusing and offering you the opportunity to link through us. Please link directly through your choice of medium. And if you are happy to link through another medium at the same time as another soul from spirit does, please do so. Where possible, we respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link through either a sense of doing so, or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we do look forward to making the connection to the spirit circle. When we have achieved that, could you confirm when you are ready for questions to be put to you, please? Thank you for joining us.
Please focus your energies on the flame. We are blending the energies. We are so pleased you're all here this evening. So lovely to see you.
And we're all very pleased to be here ourselves and recommencing with the link to your spirit circle.
All bring so much light into everybody's lives. All those that you help should be proud of yourselves. You watched fondly.
Please let me know when the blending is complete and I will continue.
Please continue, Neil.
Thank you. What name would you like to go by tonight, please?
Peter.
Sorry, would you mind repeating that?
Peter.
Peter, okay, thank you. As I said, welcome to our circle. And before we start, can I send a very warm welcome to all those who are observing in the spirit circle. You know, we've had a short break and we're all very excited and pleased to be linking with you all again.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I start with some questions as usual?
Yes, Neil.
Okay. I do have a couple, particularly from other people, so I will try and read those first. They are random, as you well know, and we'll see where we go from there. The question then, were dragons ever real, or are they just made up mythical creatures.
Interesting one. One moment, Neil.
Okay.
It's a very interesting question. I'm not sure how to answer this one. I wish to say make believe.
But is there an aspect of a dragon, you know, a part being, and then the make-believe element with it breathing fire?
Yes, other beings.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, you all know the way my mind rushes on. I mean, could there have been an alien entity in terms of looking like a dragon,
Very possible, yes.
and then carrying a weapon that emitted fire to get the connection? I don't know. I don't even know where that came from in my intuition, but
You are very inquisitive, Neil.
perhaps too much sometimes for my own good. Okay, thank you for
Just
that.
be
I'll
yourself,
pass that.
Neil.
When will you know I will be any different? Okay, more seriously then. Previously, a spirit said souls join a human embryo as soon as it is formed, so that they can, the higher self, live alongside what we call the human soul as it develops. But in terms of Earth time, how long does it take for an embryo to be formed in the host vessel? And could it be approximately 4 months, or is it shorter than that?
That's about right.
By outright, do you mean as soon as the seed has made a connection, the egg has made a connection?
Yes, Neil.
Right, thank you. It's a little bit controversial because the person who's asked this question has been told explicitly that the soul never joins the embryo until a period of 4 months, and that's what's made us raise this question with you now.
I understand, yes.
Okay. Thank you for your direct answer. That will help that person. Okay. Something I would like to ask next is, and I was asked this very recently, knowing Spirit, they were probably watching me duck and dive my way through the question, but in Spirit, how are you seen? How is Spirit seen, or how do they show themselves in Spirit? I was asked to describe what we would look like in Spirit. I did give an answer, but I wondered if you could give me your version, your answer.
Light, Neil. Light. Forms of light.
And various colours, is that right?
Absolutely. Many colours.
So if you choose to show yourself visually as a human vessel? Because I think it's been suggested you can do that if you wish to. Is that
Yes.
true as well?
Yes.
Okay. Because what that suggests to me is that when spirit makes a contact with a medium and they show themselves visually to that medium, it's logical or it's easier for the medium to interpret the link by describing that visual information. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, thank you. Okay. I know with the person I was answering, they were struggling with the concept, obviously, of seeing spirit as pure energy, colors of light. They were just struggling a little bit with that, but I did answer more or less in that vein, so thank you. Okay,
Welcome.
we'll move on a bit more. Okay. Is what we know as the Turin shroud genuine or not? It's caused a lot of debate over a period of time. Sometimes
Genuine.
people, it is genuine. You're saying it's genuine.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you. That conflicts with what some experts have said, but it's good. Thank you.
We like to keep things interesting, Neil.
Well, you do, yeah. And so do the scientists that have tried to interpret it as well. So, but I will pass on as well. In our current lives, should young children be made aware of gender issues, or should they be left to discover and explore them as and when they need to in their own lives? You know, are we opening up?
In their own time, no pressure should be there.
Yeah. As you're well aware, and my own opinion is, I think sometimes things are moving too quickly, and that
Extremely.
children are not allowed to grow up in the way, let's say, I was allowed to grow up.
I totally agree.
And in sometimes their imagination might take over and convince them they've got a gender issue problem, and when they haven't. Okay, thank you. Now, given the problems we're having, obviously, with energy for heating, etc., at this time, is it appropriate that mining for coal should be restarted? Is that truly a valid option that we should consider?
Most definitely an option. All resources should be sought out.
Okay. What about the effects on the environment, which is, it's caused the political issues to move away from it? But I mean, it looks like our politicians are probably going to seriously consider it again.
Many risks are taken, as you say.
Yeah.
Needs must.
Okay. I like spirit. I like your version of that. But it's needs must. Very practical.
Yes, must be practical in this day and age.
And it's another way of not relying on all the other resources as much as well. So it's an attempt to keep things in balance, I think. Okay. Okay, quite a serious question now then. Are spirit attempting to bring what we call the Ukrainian conflict to an end, or are you just letting it develop to its own conclusion? Are you still working on it?
Still work to be done.
Okay. Are you as concerned about it as some of us are here?
There are still many concerns.
Okay.
But all will work itself in time.
Okay.
It is a very serious matter. We understand.
Yeah.
Not to be taken lightly.
No, as you know, I'm pleased to hear that once again. So the sooner something happens, the better, because it's affecting too many people now, I think. Anyway, thank you. In spirit, then, is there any limit on how many souls can ever be accommodated in spirit? And is it an infinite space?
Oh,
Or does it have a limitation?
there's no limit, Neil. Infinite amount of space.
Okay. When you all get together in spirit, what is your custom and how do you socialize with one another? You know,
We greet each other as you do here. We all have our places,
okay.
and it's a very big place. We socialise. Very much the same, Neil.
Okay, how do you socialize though? Can you give me some examples?
The interests that you had when living,
Yeah, okay.
we still keep those interests.
By doing so, does that mean you relive your memories with one another?
Oh, absolutely. Many fond memories.
Okay. So do you entertain yourself at the same time as working on your learning and development? You know, are you sort of multitasking all the time?
Yes. There is a time, as you would say, to play. But our
Okay.
lessons, let's say lessons, obviously to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
It's the best of both worlds, Neil.
Okay, thank you for that. In spirit, although you are one, we're told, you know, we are one in spirit. How do you continue to maintain your individual identities? Or is that just a manifestation to make contact with the human vessel?
The manifestation.
Sorry, I missed a bit. Could you repeat that, please?
The manifestation, Neil,
Okay,
to make
thank you.
contact.
Okay. Have you previously lived on the airplane, Peter?
Yes.
How long ago would that have been in
1400.
Earth terms? All right, okay. And can you describe what happened in your life and what you did and what you achieved or didn't?
There was much tragedy in my life. Quite emotional at times, Neil. I was successful in my way. I was alone a great deal. Many went before me, before my time. I used to mend carts
Okay.
As you would say, woodworker.
What lessons did you come away with?
To be grateful.
Okay.
To show the love while you're here. Many lessons. Many mistakes. I did learn that life's too short. But I'm happy where I am now. And I help many.
What? So are you one of our guides?
No.
Who do you help then?
I'm just being spoken to. One moment, Neil.
Okay, thank you.
I am an observer, Neil. That is all I can say.
Okay, fair enough. Does that suggest you could be an elder? Forgive me for putting it that way.
Indeed, Neil. You are very wise.
Why did you choose to make the link today then?
I often watch.
Yeah.
I felt that this was my time.
Okay. I mean, no disrespect by that statement. I was
Of course. Oh.
curious. I was just curious. Okay.
I need to go now, Neil, and let others.
Okay.
It's been wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you, for giving us your time. I know there's not time in spirit, but there is time here. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Just keep watching.
Goodbye, Neil.
Bye. Bye.
Salam, Neil.
Good evening and welcome.
It is lovely to join you again.
So, have you been with us before?
Yes, I have been with you before.
And what name would we know you as, or what name would you like to go by tonight?
Here's Jacob.
Hello, Jacob. Thank you for coming through to us.
I am pleased.
Very good. Is it okay if I just carry on with questions, like I was doing with Peter?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay. We'll start off with a straightforward one, a bit of a conundrum. Why are animals called wild and humans are not?
You are all wild. This is just human. Everything is wild. Humans do not call themselves wild because they consider themselves domesticated.
Maybe it's the arrogance of humans that don't call themselves wild, because we do have some are very wild.
Yes, those that are.
Yeah.
Let's just say, they let their free will. They do not hold to the constraints of their surroundings.
What makes them do that? Whereas other souls manage it better.
Sometimes this could be a new soul that has joined.
Okay. Yeah.
And has a different connection which allows them to maybe not listen or wish to conform. But then there are more experienced souls that sometimes have led a constricted life before.
Yeah.
So they are seeing where they can go with this.
In that situation, is that a suggestion that their planned life pathway, if you like, was so they could actually experience the other aspect?
Yes.
Okay. But when that is designed for a soul to, let's say, experience the other side, a negative approach maybe, how do you stop it going too far so that it has a ripple effect on other souls that are living here on the earth at the same time?
There are many ways of looking at how wild people can be.
Yeah.
When, as you say, some go to the extremities of maybe taking a step far too far, this is not necessarily how I described. Maybe I should have been a bit more precise with how I was hoping to see the two sides. but sometimes there are more than two sides to a coin.
Yeah. Okay.
So the two descriptions I was describing, then there is, as you say, a third. This is where, as we've said before, the human side, the vessel, can overpower.
Yeah.
So the soul can no longer influence, I would say,
Yeah.
with suggestions and gestures. And this is where, unfortunately, we try to act as a group and have to try to influence those that are around those. To try to bring them into more alignment.
Okay. Is that the only way that you can respond to a situation when you've got, say, a rogue player? Or is that just the next stage before you take other action?
When there is your rogue player,
Yeah.
the soul will try its hardest. But when this is no longer possible, we have to try to find another way if we can.
Why did you say it's no longer possible?
As you have seen over the years, there are some that have managed to not only suppress the soul, they manage to manipulate those around them.
Yeah.
The soul maybe feel a loss of, or may become feeling of lost and cannot do anything. It still can live alongside, but the connection is made at birth, and that can only be released at the end of the path.
Okay.
But trying to some journeys have to occur, but we do what we must and what we can to help when it falls off the path. Sorry if this feels broken to you, but there are things that I wish to say, but have been asked to withhold.
Okay, I understand that. Okay.
So my sentences might feel broken.
Yeah. I respect that. Thank you. But in some ways, are there sometimes arguments that, given various situations, that sometimes we get what we deserve as groups, be it good or bad?
It is not necessarily what you deserve. There will always be an innocent party within a group. You would see, say, gangs or young gangs,
Yeah.
and some will be influenced to join. But by association of a misdemeanor or a crime, there may be an innocent in there that was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Okay.
So the gang as a whole, you would say, got what it deserved, but there may be some in there that was just there, but because they were influenced and maybe had other, it may be where they felt safe, they would not leave, but they wouldn't have deserved the overall outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. There could be aspects which they developed as an individual. I can see
Yes.
positives and negatives and everything that we do.
But I use the analogy of the gang, but this can go to cultures
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
families as well. I thought if I used that it would be maybe on a smaller scale and easier to describe.
Yeah. No, I like that comparison. That's strong. Yeah, okay, thank you. Don't know if I asked you before, Jacob, but when were you last on the Earth plane? Or weren't you?
In the 1500s.
Okay.
I lived in Jerusalem.
Okay.
Many of my friends would call me uncle.
What did you actually feel you learned in that lifetime, Jacob? From your experience?
I learned in that lifetime that family is a big thing. I did not have a family of my own with children in that lifetime. But I had fun and enjoyment of looking and helping with my brothers and sisters' children. I learned that you can be happy with and without having a family of your own. Obviously, you only get to see this at the end of your journey.
Yeah.
Compare previous lives. But in that life, I learned it is good to try to feel free. Try not to feel burdened. be happy with yourself for who and what you are. To listen before responding. Take to life slower. Do not rush. There's no need to rush. You all have a very fast-paced life at the moment. As advice, I would ask you to slow it down. If it doesn't get done
Sorry.
I was only going to say, if it doesn't get done today, do it tomorrow.
Sometimes that's easier said than done, though, because we're all living in this life around us, and that takes control sometimes. But I know what you mean. I do appreciate what you mean.
Yes, there are many things that, as the old saying says, easier said than done.
Yeah.
But if you don't try, you will never find out.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say, as I've got older, you wake up to that, but it's how you influence a lot of others to accept the need to do the same.
Yes.
Prior to that life, that life you've just described, have you had an earlier life that you felt is significant enough to mention to us?
There have been many, all with different experiences, I will say.
Yeah.
There was one where I had a short life as a child.
Okay.
Where I lost my parents young and lived homeless for a while. That was hard because I had no other family. But that was a life that was not short and sweet, but it was short, but taught me that when you put your mind to something, you dig deep, you can get through what life puts in front of you, even in a short amount of time.
Could that be argued that it's a way of teaching you survival, the need for working towards that.
The life you have now is very suppressed, but the basic instinct is always there.
Okay.
It will come when you need it.
Yeah.
Even if the outcome at the end is not the same, or not as you wished. You know that it was out of your control, but you did as much as you could.
Yeah, you did the best you can. Yeah.
And as long as you've done the best you can, there is no more that you can do.
Okay.
And try not to live off the negativity of that side of it.
I applaud that. Yeah. Okay. Was that shortened life in reality pre-planned so that you could learn what you learned?
Yes. But there was it could have gone on longer, but it wasn't meant to go on much longer.
Okay.
There was an accident that happened. Through no fault of my own in that particular life, but I was not meant to live much longer.
Yeah.
But it in itself has also taught me for further lives that life is precious and do not wish it away.
Yeah.
This is why I say to slow things down. Do not rush things or rush into things. If the time is there for you, you just need to make that time. Do not let others make it for you.
Thank you for those words of encouragement. Are Spirit happy with our attempts to provide inspiration to others through our recordings of these conversations? And how would you suggest we improve?
Do not be concerned with improving. Everything is going as it should.
Okay.
Try to use the group for those to progress, to enjoy the connections,
Yeah.
to give confidence, self-belief, and things will come along and change when it is necessary.
Okay.
You have done well with how the group has come along, and we like it how it is at the moment. There is no need for any change.
Is there anything you think we should particularly concentrate on, or do we just carry on with our intuition?
Carry on with the intuition, but you can always, if you wish, to go freestyle So if you want to run off your plan or your questions and just go with what you have or wish to ask, we do not mind.
Okay. I'll give that some thought, thank you. So will the others. Does Spirit know? I'm sure they do. I've had to temper my enthusiasm with links to Spirit and the conversations with certain friends and family. But am I right to back off doing so?
Your connection to Spirit is strong, but your intuition as well is in alignment. So if you feel that you do not wish to press your thoughts on us and our existence to others that may not believe, this naturally will stop as what you do. Inside you find the frustration because you wish to just say it. But you can always tease or go around the houses if you wish to press a little bit further with them.
I'm happy with the teasing, but I have realized that when it actually causes, it's not always shown, but I sense if they're not ready to think about aspects of life and spirit, it can cause them pain. So that's probably why I back off.
Yes, but you can always, like I said, we call it tease, but just to maybe put it a slightly different way to open a new thought for them.
I understand that. I just wait for the right moment and just throw a pebble in the water, if you like.
That's it.
Sometimes they come back then with more questions, which gives me then an opportunity to go into more depth. Okay, thank you.
You see the light bulb moment when you have broken it.
Yeah. No, that I can relate to that as well. Okay. Okay, a bit different now. In Earth plane years, how long has human life been in existence and evolving on the Earth? Could you put some sort of figure to it that would be meaningful to us? Everyone keeps saying, or every spirit has said that the Earth has been in existence a lot longer than we realize. But what does that actually mean?
When you say there are, say, generations of things, like the first generation, second generations, humans, as you know yourselves now, have been around for many thousands of years. The Earth has been around a lot longer.
Okay.
If I was to say to you, at least 5 generations, of humans, maybe not in the exact form you stand in now.
Okay.
I will say to you, you would be going into millions of years.
Okay. Is it true that as humans, we've been manipulated by malevolent forces by suppressing the true history of the human race, and that previous generations were far more advanced than we are?
Each generation has been advanced in its own way.
Okay.
It has also had its external forces that have maybe helped or hindered to allow the next generation sometimes these generations have come to a ending on their own and re-engineered, shall we say, ready for the next.
When you engineer for the next, then, is that when you make changes to a human vessel's DNA to actually bring about some sort of change that you've deemed as necessary?
Yes, this happens.
Okay.
The subtlety, if you look back of your own generation, you will have seen changes.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But there are some still on the planet that are not quite as evolved.
Okay.
Those that have not mixed or had much influence with those in the wider world.
Maybe they'll be the natural born survivors.
Maybe only time will tell.
Okay. Sometimes simpler lives are better, aren't they?
Yes, but unfortunately sometimes there's an innocence and that happens to get lost.
Okay. Good point. Who has responsibility for creating planets and adapting them for physical life, and then creating and projecting existing life forms, in the spirit? Who takes on that role?
I can only say the creator for that one, Neil.
Okay.
I have a sense there may be more.
But presumably the creator can come up with the concept and then he'll utilize as much energy as it needs to do to actually achieve the outcome.
I think you are older and wiser than you think you are, Neil.
Thank you. Okay, another similar sort of question then. Are babies created by God or the creator of humans for a joint effort? And who makes the final decision?
as a life form was created by God or the Creator. As you are
Yeah.
currently, it is just human, just
Yeah.
like the birds, the bees, and all the animals. It is funny
But we
how
might,
people see that energy or electricity and water do not mix. But it is funny how life is created. Do not feel, Neil. But
why
it's
did you,
created
why did
from a
you come,
liquid
yeah, why, okay, go on, sorry.
that, as humans, you are told that water and electricity cannot mix. But if you look at life, it is all from fluid or water and energy, which you would perceive as electricity.
Okay. Are you suggesting we're missing a trick there? We haven't woken up to that yet.
Maybe another thought for your questions another time, Neil.
I'm back to my homework again now. How should we best keep our minds active, Jacob?
Best keep them active. Positive thoughts, communication with one another, with each other. These electrical devices are great. But there's nothing more better than interacting with one another. Keeps the mind active better. Being outside in nature will always keep your mind active.
Yeah, okay, I endorse that.
Just the simple things.
But there is an argument that using your words, using our electrical devices, our communication devices, is actually maximize the opportunity to make the information available. So it's not all negative.
No, it is not negative. But we see when we are guiding that people will revert to your messaging rather than speaking,
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
and use that excuse that they've spoken instead of visiting in person
Okay.
when they are only around the corner, so to speak. That is how I would see it anyway.
No, that's a fair comparison. You know, that's the negative aspect of it. I agree with you there. What's your view, and why do so many humans believe it is so important to be accepted by others, particularly amongst our youngsters?
Humans are a social creature. But currently everybody wants to be like somebody else. They either want to look like them, act like them, but you are not born in groups. You are born on your own. You are a mix of your parents. You do not need to look like or act like anybody else. Just be yourselves. The more people that accept themselves for who they are, at the end of the day, you're an individual. Your experiences will be different to even your siblings living in the same house. Growing up, you move out, you change. One might be rich, one might be poor, but you are who you are. You could be rich and unhappy, and poor and happy. Try not to look at what others are or have, and be settled within yourselves.
Are there any situations where putting ourselves first is a negative trait?
If you become rude and arrogant, self-centered, those traits are not good. Putting yourself first, though, to make yourself happy, but without unnecessarily upsetting others. As long as you're clear with your boundaries,
Okay.
and kind with your answers, there is no more that you can do. But others have become too sensitive and take things personally. So as long as you are clear and be kind and loving, that is the way to be.
Okay. When nature fights back with what are termed natural disasters to human life, is that designed to act as a reminder and re-establish a living balance for the planet and all its inhabitants, not just human vessels?
Yes, is the answer to that.
Okay. I mean, it's hard to take, obviously, if you're one of the ones affected by it, a human's affected by it, but I know as humans, we've been allowed to override the natural world, so it takes it out of balance, doesn't it?
Yes, Mother Nature will have her way,
Okay.
as hard as it can be for some. Sometimes it needs to be there, as you say, to remind you that you need to be more mindful of where you are and what you are doing.
Okay. So leading on from that then, is that an argument that we should leave nature to manage the world's ecosystems, even though human life may suffer from it?
That
Maybe
is
they know
definitely
best.
a debate worth having.
Okay. That must be psychic, mustn't it?
very Neil.
Okay. I have wondered that at different times.
I will say a good evening to you tonight. And thank you
Okay,
for letting me join your group.
Thank you for talking to you again, Jacob. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Love to you all.
And now it's back to you and the circle.
Thank you.
Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides and for the additional advisors that have been joined or linked in with us or the Spirit here today to give us the benefit of their wisdom. We thank you for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. And we do look forward to linking up again with you next time. Before we close the link, we hope you don't mind us spending a few minutes of our time exploring our personal direct links with Spirit. 2 to 3 minutes, everyone, until I call you back into the room. Time now to refocus on your crown chakras, please. And as and when you have, close it down to break your link with Spirit. Move any residual energy you don't need down from your crown chakra to your brow chakra, onto your throat chakra, and then to your heart chakra. Carry on further down to your solar plexus chakra, onto your sacral chakra, and then to your root chakra. Allow this surplus energy to move down through your legs and body to your feet and ground yourself on Mother Earth, please. When you are sufficiently grounded and in your own time, gently and slowly bring your attention back into the room.